We missed the train, but we are here.
We missed the train.
The
Oh my
train.
God.
I don't know. To
Ooh.
Georgia, where were you gonna go?
The train was trying to go off the track. We need the
Yeah.
train to come back.
Get it back on. Get it back
Stop
on. It's Friday.
this.
That's what happened. The train is on a snowy track. That's what happened. It slipped.
Yes. And it's slipping and sliding
So
everywhere and throwing us all off track.
we're
But that's
going
all
right
right.
into the intro. Be like, let's get it
Bring it
started.
in. Let's get it.
Here we are. Mm, mm, mm. Here we are. You know, I was watching someone yesterday. I won't say the name.
Oh,
And
Lord.
they had a plant similar to mine. And I'm like, you need to water your plant. You are a wonderful speaker and leader, but your plant is not happy.
That plan is not
Something.
happy.
Do
You want
something
a
with
happy
that plant,
plan.
okay? Or make that plant happy as you are
That's
spreading
right.
joy to the world, okay? I was like, those leaves just look like, no, I'm hydrated, dehydrated, hydrate me.
Help
Good
me.
morning, Joyce. And I've seen that a lot.
Help
I've been to
me.
people's offices who weren't even present. And when I saw the plant, I'm like, I
Aw.
know you've been neglecting this plant.
Aw.
Get some water. I'll do it
Right.
myself. People have been watching me like, what are you doing? You look like you're doing some kind of ritual up in here. I'm like, yes, I am. Watering the plant is a ritual. My goodness. The
It is.
neglect is, but which also tell me something about you. You might be neglecting something in your own life. Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh.
Did you go there?
I went.
Did
I
you
went. And I'm
just
telling,
go there?
yep, I said it. So you probably dehydrated yourself. Okay. So
All right. I think my laptop is going to sleep.
I
It doesn't seem to
can't
want to
do it.
work
I need
with
a
me
break.
today.
I need a break. I need a moment.
Oh my gosh.
So, but that to me, that's part of our conversation today. I think you know, my engagement and communication with them feels like a divine experience.
Ooh.
Other people don't. They're just like, it's just a plant.
No, they're not. They're spirits too. They have spirits too.
Just a plant. You'll be fine.
They carry energy and all of that.
And then they're shocked when they just whittle and just, well, I'm tired. I'm going to go away.
Right.
Okay. I can't do it here with you.
So my laptop is tripping a little bit, y'all, but that's all right. We're gonna work our way through today. Today, episode 61. 61. Divinity Identity. No, y'all was probably like, what in the world does that even mean? Um, but as I was writing, as I was typing in Divinity Identity, a song by Janae Aiko came on, and it's called Define Me. And I thought, wow, how appropriate is that at this moment that song came on? And in the song, it says, try me, you cannot define me. I can tell you're trying, but first you got to find me. Time, you've gotten behind me, all in divine timing. Rising despite your denying, you cannot define me. So today we are talking about the divine me, right? So divinity identity. What is your divinity identity?
Mm, mm, mm.
Right? We think about all of the other things that we identify as ourselves, in our social cultural norms. Like what do we identify ourselves
Right.
as? You
Right.
know,
Yeah, and
mother.
everything is external, as you know. And so
Everything is external, right?
we're looking for
Right?
the titles and the whatever. But I think a lot of time people don't take the time. Even naming yourself, people don't realize they do have the ability to say, this is what I would like to be called. And it doesn't have to be something where you're like, I'm gonna change everything. Like if I say,
Right.
like there are some spaces where people don't call me Marie because they know me as something completely different. And when you say
Mhm.
call me this, they call you what you say to call me.
That's
Okay.
right. Whatever you want that to
Whatever
be.
you say, call me this, call me that. And over time, and it's so many things we talked about, it's like you tell people how to treat you, you tell people who you are, and be who you say you are, right?
That's right.
Because sometimes we say one thing and then we don't show up as that, right? So there are times you almost have to be who you are before you even say it. Like there are times I don't even say the thing about. I think I told you I was telling somebody about. Somebody told me about they see joy when they see me, and they never saw my wall, and that was our first
Uh-huh.
conversation. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then I turned on the camera. It was like so interesting to. Sometimes it matches, right? What they feel about you is actually in alignment with who you are and how you see yourself. Because sometimes none of these things mesh. How you see yourself, who you are, who you being,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
they're literally they're in conflict
Mm-hmm.
with each other. And so a lot of time it's based on what's inside. So that's one of the reasons I think I was just so happy to have sacred. And I think that's why I hold on to the sacred self-care
The
goddess
sacred
so much. Not
self-care.
just that part, because initially I was just gonna I other spaces is just the goddess part is there, but the idea of I am a sacred being, and
Yes.
everything I do start from the inside. All
As
the
it
external,
should be.
yeah,
As it should be.
everything.
As it should be. So yesterday, I had to laugh because somebody called me sugar face, right? And I was like, so I sent a message back and I said, "Can I
Is that
just
a
tell you
song?
how many times I've been called sugar, sugar foot, and sugar face in the last 24 hours?" I was like, I don't know what the sugar thing is, or but I just thought it was just kind of funny that
Sugar,
that was
sugar,
the word.
sugar.
Sugar,
Hey, sugar.
hey,
That's
sugar.
crazy. Stop.
Not that that's my divinity identity, but I just think the connection with people and how people then identify you is it was cute. It was funny.
Yeah.
But I was like, what is going on in the world? Everybody calling me sugar foot
Sugar,
face.
sugar,
I don't know what's coming up next.
sugar,
Sugar butt, hey
sugar.
sugar.
You just sweep all over, which is interesting sometimes because I hear people say things, and I think I was telling you this week where I'm meeting some people in the last, I would say a little bit pre-pandemic, but during the pandemic, who it's the first time where I'm just like, and again, I have to really allow myself to receive, to be comfortable with people seeing me for the first time because for a long
Right.
time I,
Right.
regardless of how I show up and how I'm being, you wouldn't believe how invisible that I am.
Yeah.
Literally invisible. Like I am more invisible than the ghost. And I've written about this in my poetry. And I've met some people for like we're talking weeks or months. And the things they would say about me is so I I had to really like take it in and simply say thank you and
Hmm.
not argue and not be like and not question what
Right.
they feel. And again,
Hmm.
most of these people I've never met. And I'm just like, it's a lot to take in because to know that there are people who can feel this and it's not even about the title. It's not, they haven't read my resume. They haven't read probably like any books or article or stuff or even anything. They may have heard me speak somewhere or seen something online, but we have engaged and we've at least had a few conversations or at least
Hmm.
one or a few, right? And to be able to say, you know, to see me, to hear me, and to want to be around me more, and to kind of be able to say, you know what, I know who you are, not by what I'm doing, but by my essence.
Yeah.
Literally, my energy. That's the key thing that comes up a lot, my energy. And to be able to receive it and not try to compare it to the people who don't see me.
Right.
Because I have a tendency to be like, oh my God, these people for years, this and that, and then they just da 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 da. Right? And to be able to
Right.
just stay in that moment and knowing like they're still talking about you,
Hmm.
that I am worthy of those compliments, and to simply say thank you and stay in
Yeah.
gratitude and not do the comparison and not allow my mind to go somewhere completely different.
Yeah.
And so
I
telling
think
stories that makes no sense.
right. I think people that are tapped into their spiritual side I think the spirits meet. I think before we ever do, it doesn't even matter. I think that our spirits just come into contact somehow before we even make the connection. And
Mm,
I think that some people just get you. You know, it's like, oh wow, like I see into you something different than other people see because I'm connected to my own stuff. You know, I'm connected to
mm.
my own self, divinely connected. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, but it's
Val
hard.
said you have great energy, Marie. You have
Thank
great
you.
energy, energy.
Thank you, Val. Like it's again, it's hard. I mean, it shouldn't be hard, right? But I think when you're so used to being it's almost like when you're constantly dealing with like negativity and then you out of it, right? And of course you feel that lightness and you want more of that. And
Mm.
to me now, it's almost like those people. I mean, again, we started by saying like I can show people how to treat me. And so
Yeah.
in a way, perhaps there's something that I've been doing differently that have attracted those people who now are reflecting how I feel, who can
Well, you
say I
carry
see.
yourself in a certain way,
Mhm.
right? And there's something like, some experiences that people have. I'm like, what happened to you? What? Like those things, I'm like, that will never happen to me. And not that, never say never kind of thing. I
Yeah.
know, I get that. But there are some things because of how I carry myself, some people just not going to approach me the same way they're going to approach you or the next person.
Nope.
They're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. They're not. And it's also virtual, which is shocking to me. That there have been some people where I say to them like I considered whether it's a Zoom or Clubhouse or Wisdom or any other apps that I'm on or 3D application that I use, and some I can't even name anymore. There's so many. And I literally tell people they walk into the room and it was this, and in the moment they speak and I speak, and then it was just like one person defined us as kindred spirit. That
Hmm.
first, I was just like,
Hmm.
what? And then we had a conversation that lasted who knows how long. I stopped counting anymore my conversation with some people because
Right.
it's like, and you never know how long. And I don't take that lightly anymore in terms of when we say we're gonna have conversation with people, and when you feel that connection that first time,
Hmm.
there's a need to hear the voice more. There's a need to even now I gotta see you or face to face. Like you have more appreciation for seeing the person's face or
Yeah.
hearing their voice beyond just like that quick conversation, and you're more interested in them. And I think that's the thing for me where I'm like, yeah, what you do is great, but I'm more interested in the person. Tell me
Yeah.
about you. Tell me about what makes you you on a regular basis. What do you like? What are you doing? And it doesn't have to be those other things, but in the process, you do the same for you. I feel like a lot of us are not taking time to get to know ourselves. And I think that's where we cannot define who we are. And I think that's where I think, if they read if they read your book, if they read the slave book, right? You
Right.
start doing that because those questions that I'm saying, like being interested in each other, people only do that when they're interested in finding a partner, when they're interested in another relationship outside of
Yeah.
themselves, right? So they
Hmm.
take this time,
Hmm.
like, what do you like? What's your favorite this? Where do you go? And all this stuff. And I'm like, have you ever asked yourself that? What do you like? What's
What
your
do you
favorite whatever?
like?
Right? And
Right.
people may not even know. They only know in comparison to another person, right? They only know if somebody say, you know what, I'm gonna bring you some chocolate ice cream treat. And you're like, I don't,
I
I'm
don't
like,
do
how was I
chocolate.
supposed to know? You never said you like X, Y, and Z. So those are the things where we have to take that time. And we have to take that time, especially now, like we are very uncomfortable, I
Yeah.
think, with solitude, with being with our thoughts, right? And so we just have to make the time and be
Hmm.
comfortable with it. Like what we
And
do.
that's unfortunate that we are uncomfortable that way.
Mhm.
And the book is written in such a way that that's what it's getting at, right? There's self-love fundamentals in the book. There are four of those. How you relate to and interact as. So how you relate to yourself, how you
Mm.
relate to others, how you interact as a giver and a receiver, in the
Yes.
physical, in the metaphysical. And so when we're looking at these relationships that we're having, the first relationship we have to start paying attention to is the one that is our relationship to self. You've got to start paying attention to that if you really want to get to the things that you say you want in life, if you want to get to the space where, you know, you want to live how you want to live in life, we can't keep going by walking like with blinders on and expecting, "Ooh, he coming, my boo coming." No, there's some things that you have to do for yourself. There's some things that you have to learn about yourself. And really, this, as when we're talking about slaying, it's more about you finding out what your divinity identity is. And so, with that, let me share a little something from the Slay Bible. Now that my laptop is acting up, I'm going to read from the book here, and I'm on page 32. And I think we brought this up. Hey, Belinda. Who else
Good
is over here?
morning,
Hey,
Belinda.
Auntie Joyce. There's a few more people here. I love y'all. Hey, hey. Okay. So I'm on page 32 of Slay, Self Love Awaits You, the Slay Bible. Um, Slaying, the art of standing in one's own feminine power, thereby allowing the badass goddess within to live out loud and on purpose. So think of living as the science and slaying as its art form. It's the flavor of how you go about doing what you do. Slaying is just a matter of owning and exerting your full power. After all, it is the reason for your beingness, goddess. It is your birthright to slay. Yes, it is. It is your birthright to slay. And your divinity identity. It represents what you are here for, which is to own, stand, and walk in your innately ingrained authenticity and feminine power.
Ooh.
Yes.
Walk into it.
Walk in it. Own it. Own it. Right? Become it. And live from your most divine self. We laugh, we play, we have a good time. You know, all kind of crazy words we make up, and all kinds of things might come out of our mouths, and but that doesn't take away from who we are, who our essence, our spirit, right? And so tapping more into that divine part of you and becoming more of you authentically. I mean, you can't live better than that. You just can't live better than that.
But again, once you're there, you will want more. Because for me, as I'm hearing that, and I'm just like, it's also great when you find those people, because I remember thinking, that's what I want more of, right? The ability to ask.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm like, oh, I can ask, and then I'll get, whatever that may be, or the fact that I appreciate more of that, and letting people know, like, these are the things I actually like. I like when we talk about that. I like when you do, and these are the things too that literally have a ripple effect in your other interaction with other people, where you can literally say, that's when you enjoy something somebody does, you have to say it. When they're nice, even when they say something nice, the ability for someone to be able to acknowledge, even when someone take the time to say certain things that's positive to you, or thank you for doing this, or I appreciate you for doing that. People don't do this as commonly as you think.
Right.
It's this little thing that they may remember or do, or all of it is a choice, right? And when they do that, you too now let there be reciprocity. You do the same, but you also tell them that you do appreciate that, because that means more. They know, okay, that person, they enjoyed this. And to be able to just say thank you and not comparing it and not say, oh my God, this doesn't happen to me, and all that kind of stuff. Simply say thank you and appreciate it.
Yeah.
And appreciate them and say so. Because sometimes we don't know, somebody does something and to them it's like, oh, it's nothing, right? Like, let's say somebody just get you your favorite dessert, or they just sent it to you, or they saw something, they're like, oh, that made me think of you, and they send it to you. Just because you literally have to, but to the giver, they didn't see that as a big thing, but to you, seriously, make a big deal about it, because if it was negative, you would have gone off. So for the positive stuff, go
Right. And you would
off.
have told 5 people.
Tell everybody, like, literally, but also tell that person how that makes you feel, right? How you appreciate it. I don't think we do that enough. When people do things, we truly take too much for granted. Like, it doesn't matter if it's just like somebody bringing you a glass of water, somebody do something, whether unexpected or expected, whether you know them or don't know them. A lot of things people don't have to do it, and people don't do it. They don't do it. So when they do, that appreciation and celebrating it and celebrating each other when we see it, like we do that so well in our community, the idea of always being gratitude, always rooting for each other,
Yes.
always like
And it
knowing
spills over because
right.
then people come back and like, you know what I did, and talk about their interactions with other people outside of our community.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole point. It's a ripple effect.
Yes.
So if we can start doing it that way, I love that. Val said, ask and it shall be given unto you. I truly believe in that concept. Yes. So
I know that very well. Tracy knows. I will ask for, even on a snow day, I'm like, I would like some mango. Please. To whoever's listening, send me. Like,
this is what I'm needing. I need this. I want some mango.
Some mango. Some curried anything. Some jerky.
Yes.
All of it. The whole feast, right? Or ask in terms of, that dream, that there are certain things like we talk here about, literally asking what we want. We've done this in our journaling sessions, and be able to name it and saying it to yourself and then claiming it, right?
And here's the other piece though, understanding and knowing that you are divine, and because of your divinity you deserve nothing else. All of the other stuff, all of the crazy stuff you talk about in your head, none of that even matters. You are a divine being, therefore you deserve.
Yes.
And then you finish the sentence.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not something, again, so many things we feel like we gotta earn it, we gotta struggle for it. It has to be hard. And that's the other thing I'm still learning, where I'm just
that's the opposite of unconditional, though, y'all know, right? Unconditional is unconditional.
But again, that's what we used to see,
we're
right?
taught. Yes, we're taught, and that's what we see.
Yeah,
we see the conditions. Yeah, and we come to believe in them. Yeah,
I know, but we learn.
Let me tell you, we're gonna have this conversation off screen because there's some other stuff that you probably not even realizing that's going on underneath the surface and why he not coming. So here's Val. Val says, for those of you listening, Val says, now I've been asking for the six-fold dark, beautiful man for years, but he hasn't exactly shown up yet. Right. So you asked for him, but you're not in a space yet where you believe you can have him.
Oh,
I know. Look. And I'm just using this as we're laughing about it a little, but no, seriously, there is something within you that doesn't believe that you can have him. So go back to self, go back to looking at the parts and pieces. Go to this book, start with how you showing up, right?
But I would love some qualities to be added to that too.
Yeah, right. Because he might be an asshole.
The physical. There's some eye candy out there that are not in alignment with who we know you are, Val. So please, we better add some value.
And this is not to this person. I'm sure there's more to it than that. But yeah, those qualities he has to bring. Yeah. You just have to have those too.
A little
in
more.
Addition to some other things.
That's the visual.
But listen, Val, I say that to you in love and to anybody else out there, because you're not alone. You're not the only person that is in that space. I want this man, I want this man. All right. So while you're wanting him, what are you doing in your now? How are you honoring the divine and living in this space of expectation? Because there's a little bit of doubt in there somewhere. So how do you go from that doubt to the expectation? From the doubt of, well, maybe this not. Because remember when I brought up the thing about the Lamborghini, right? We talk about it. We talk about how beautiful it is. And, ooh, that's a nice car. But somewhere it's like, okay, yeah, it's a really nice car. But I don't believe I can have it. I don't believe I can ever have the money to be able to buy that. I don't believe there's something in you that's still a little bit off. We just need some tweaking, just a little tweaking.
Mm-hmm.
But we can work it out.
You yours,
Bounce it. Come on now, Marie.
you get yours. Most likely when you least expect it,
Yeah.
because you'll be
Yeah.
focusing on Val.
Yeah.
You just be in ease and flow, right? Ease and flow. And you're like, there you are.
And the other thing is, remember, we were talking about, you know how you get onto a subject, and we were talking about just doing nothing. Remember, sometimes you got to leave that thing alone, focus on something else, and come back to it when it's feeling good and right, and you can actually give it good love. If you
Mm,
can't give it good love, then, it's all for naught. Mm-hmm. Of
well,
course, in addition to, he needs brains, and he needs his own. He needs to bring his own. He needs to bring some things to the table. I know, Val. I already knew.
mm,
Marie
mm,
just messing with you.
mm.
No
No.
worries.
Yeah, no. No, we need more. You can never focus on yourself. Again, you like years, you shall focus on yourself for the rest of your life. The
You
ability
didn't do it enough in this half, in
when
the
you thought you
previous
were,
half. So
yeah,
now, for real, I'm so serious. You have to shift your focus to you. You have to shift your focus to you.
yeah.
Are you the best person you can be in your now while
Here's
you
the
waiting
thing.
on him?
Here's the thing. What we're saying right now, it's probably feeling like the complete opposite in terms of what people are getting in the culture, right?
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
chase, that looking, that hunt, that fishing is very different than what we're saying,
Yeah.
because it's literally a team sport, or
Mm.
sometimes it's an individual sport, or you just constantly, and it's an obsession versus the idea of focusing on you. But it's the same
And
conversation
allowing that.
right.
All you got to do, if you focus on you, because how do you know you are you looking your best and feeling your best in every moment while you're waiting on him? And how we always get back to this part. Just
Let's get back to our divine self, our divine
right.
self. But again, these are things you can reflect on. So they don't have to be, again, sometimes we think the answers are going to be in the moment. And sometimes if you don't know, you don't know, but give yourself permission to take the time to figure that out and say, you know what? Oh, who and where do I need to go to be able to find those answers, right? Because again, this is where being around positive energy, other people who are doing the same work, other people who are there or almost there, who can really help you kind of iron those things out or flesh them out or help you get some clarity. There's nothing, I'm telling you right now, there's a lightness that comes with knowing who you really are,
Yeah.
where you're not so focused on finding the other people's stuff. And again, it's not just looking, it's like all these other people around you, you trying to meet the expectations of where you should be, who you
Mm-hmm.
should be with, who you yourself should become
Right.
at this age. I'm
That's a
like,
good thing right there. Wait, let's just meeting other people's expectations.
mm,
That that has to come off the table. Because the real one who appreciates who you are for everything that you bring, that's going to be the one. That's going
mm,
to be the one. But you're not. You have to operate from your most authentic self.
mm.
And if
She's
we're being
worthy of
honest,
it.
are we our most authentic self, or are we still playing that game of I want to look like this to the outside world, but this is who I really am over here?
Mm. Yeah, and again, those things are in conflict.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's tension, and so that's why we need to also have alignment within ourselves, alignment with our own values, alignment with what we say and do and being.
Yep.
Sometimes they're
Alignment
all
coming
over
up
the place,
again.
like it's like three different multiple things are happening, and so and
Okay, I'm
so
gonna share one more thing before we go because we are running out of time here.
as
Eat,
always.
eat. In this community, we're always talking about eating, right? This is her slay ground where all goddesses come to eat, play, and slay. Eat, envision, align, and treasure. Envision what you want. Envision it. Envision your wildest dreams. Align yourself with that vision, and then treasure this goddess life that you've been given in your now. If you can eat, if you can learn to just eat, the food will come. Whatever the food is, he will come, all the rest of that. But envision your wildest dreams, align yourself with that vision, and then treasure the life that you've been given. All right, with that, we are complete this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a lively conversation. I'd like to continue it over at the club. So come on over to Clubhouse. We'll continue this conversation and also share our gratitude, intention, and affirmation, all of that good stuff. So we're heading over
the
there.
chat. Thank you, everybody. Great advice.
Yes.
We like
we got
the
a few more
goddesses.
things in the chat.
No. Just throughout. The goddesses have
sharing.
all the advice.
Yes.
Joyce is like, stop asking. Stop asking.
Stop asking. You asked for that already. Leave it
Put
alone.
it in the universe and leave it alone. Leave it alone.
All right, y'all. Until tomorrow morning, we're going to just send you off with much love and just thank you for showing up today. And come on over to the club. We'll see you soon. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe, like, and share the Slay with Trey channel. Much love. Mwah.